Welcome to 3900 Hertz. This is episode 2 in the series of PGP related functions that we're gonna go through. In this episode, we're gonna go through creating keys. There's two ways of doing it. It is the lower threat version, where we just create it on the laptop and store it away on a USB stick or something like that. And then there's the little higher, more paranoid version where we actually create the keys completely on an air-gapped computer using tails and so on. We'll start with the simpler one because that's most common use case. So in this one, we'll create the key and some sub keys, store it away, and then we can use that for signing, encryption, and authentication. So I hope you will enjoy this video, and let's get started. All right, so let's get started. The very first thing we want to do is to create a password that we're going to use later on to secure our keys. I usually use OpenSSL for it, but you can use whatever password generator you have. So OpenSSL and I want in a hex, and I want 32 characters. And I'll also save it in a file, so I can save it in a USB disk later on. So that creates a long string. We're gonna need this later on to add a key and then also unlock the key when we add subkeys. So let's have a look at it first. And copy that into your clipboard because we're going to use it several times later on. Okay, so that's done. Now, next thing is to create the master key. So the master key is something we're going to use to generate the subkeys, and the subkeys are the ones that we actually use for encryption and so on. The master key is just there to create other keys. So this one is a little bit special, but let's start with PGP, and we need expert because we need a specific set of functionality that's only in expert mode, but it's not that bad. And then we want to generate the full key. All right, so what we wanted with the expert mode is number 8 here, set your own capabilities. This allows us to set what capabilities we want in this key, because we only want one very specific one. Big number 8. So here you see we have sign, certify, and encrypt. We only want certify. So let's toggle. Remember, this is toggle, not actually selecting. So toggle away signature and toggle away encryption. So see, now we have only certify left. That's good. Okay, so we want the longest key we can have. And since this is the master key and barely used, we'll never expire this one. Okay, here you can choose whatever name fits it, either your real name or not. It's up to you completely. Right. Except Nostromo. Space. Jokes. Okay, so we got Samuel Brett's key, master key here that he used for funny jokes. And here's his email. That looks perfect. So we go O for OK. And now we're setting the passphrase for this master key. So hopefully you have that in your clipboard here. Do that twice. Generated. Perfect. So here we have the key generated and done. So now we have a master key. Next is to create the subkeys. The subkeys are very similar. but what we are gonna do is we're gonna edit the master key and add these subkeys to it. So we'll do that by this way. PGP expert. Again, we need expert because we want to have authenticate, and you can only do that in expert mode for some reason. I'm not sure why. And then we want to edit key. And then we say which key we want to edit. And usually it's smart enough to figure out which key I'm talking about. So, yep, that's looking good. It's the funny joke one. Okay, so what do we have? We are interested in save and add key. Add key, obviously, but save, don't forget this. Whenever you edit something in the master key, you have to save it. Otherwise, it'll just go away. It doesn't auto save it. So I've done that mistake quite a few times. Okay, so first add key. And since we want authenticate, the very first one, we again want to set our own capabilities. So number 8. And just like before, we want to remove 2 of them and add 1. So let's remove signature, remove encryption, and add authenticate. That looking good. And you all know which key size. But this one will expire in 3 years. So that's what I do, but it's up to you how long it works for your use case. But I think industry standard is 3. So that looks okay. Looks okay. And since we're adding something to the master, we need the passphrase to be able to add it. And that's done. Okay, so we have authenticate. Oops. That's gone. All right, so let's add another one. Okay. Now we want to add the encryption, which is on number 6. And we, same as before, 6. Same as before, 3 years. And looks good, looks good. And passphrase. Okay, so we got 2 keys now. Let's do the last one. And this one is number 4, signing. Just like before. 3 years. Looks good, looks good. Passphrase. All right, so now we have master key to certify, 1 authentication subkey, 1 encryption subkey, and 1 signature subkey. All is good. Save. Don't forget this. Save. Cool. All right, so now we have that done. We want to be able to extract this because right now, if we look here, it's only in a key store, which is on the local laptop here. So we want to export this so we can move this to another place. We do that by GPK armor, and that will bring it out in text format. And then export. Here we want export secret keys. And this will export the master key, not the subkeys. And whose keys do you want to export? Yeah, Brett. Stromo. And I will export that into a file because otherwise it'll just print on screen. So I'll name it master key. And since we're extracting the the private key, we want to add the passphrase to unlock it. Okay, So we should have a master key and master. And there it is. Perfect. Now we want to do the subkeys. Armor. Export. And here you'll see export subkeys. Same as here. And then sub key. Passphrase. Okay, so let's see. We have a master key and we get sub key. Let's sub key. Let's check that out. Yep. Okay, so now we have all the things that we need for encrypting, signing, and whatever you want to do in PGP. I suggest that you put this in an encrypted USB stick and back that up in 2 places. But that's pretty much it. However you handle it afterwards is your choice. So that's everything for episode 2. And next round was going to be probably a signature. So hope you come back for that, and I'll see you next time. Have a great evening or morning.